Hey everyone, welcome to the Rum Revival. It's Arminder. Now, a couple of weeks back, friend of the channel, Derek from the Make and Drink YouTube channel, he put out a video where he highlighted what he thought were the best buys in rum. Now, his list was focused primarily on rums to make cocktails with, but they were all about the rums that gave you the biggest bang for your buck, the price point compared to the quality of the rum. It's a great video. Definitely check it out. I'll link to it down below. But that got me thinking of what I thought were the best buys for sipping rums. So I'm totally stealing Derek's concept and doing my own spin on it. Love you, Derek. Now, before I get to the rums, real quick, if you want to support this channel, make sure you like the video and subscribe. But if you want to take your support to the next level, then check out my Patreon page. There's exclusive content there. Plus, you get access to the Rum Revival Discord where you can hang out with other rum fans and talk all about rum. So, without further ado, here are my best buys if you're looking for rums to sip on. The rums that I think will give you some of the best value for your money. Now, first up is Old Brigand Black Label from Foursquare Rum Distillery out in Barbados. Now, I've already done a full video on this rum. You can check it out down below, but this might be the best buy in all of rum. For $19.49, at least where I live, you get a 43% ABV pot and calm still rum. Now, some sources online say it's aged around 5 years, others say 2 or 3. Either way, it's definitely on the young side. But regardless of that, for under $20, you get, I think, a very flavorful rum. You're getting lots of plump, juicy golden raisins. You're getting a little bit of coconut, a little bit of toasted coconut that's covered in some milk chocolate and a little bit of honey. On the back end, there's a little bit of like charred oak and a little touch of baking spices. Now, overall, this is an incredibly easy drinking rum that's actually flavorful. And again, it's under $20. Like, what a deal. Like, if you're looking for an affordable daily sipper where each pour will cost you less than the cost of a cup of coffee, this is it. Now, fair warning, this is a rum that is a Total Wine exclusive. So if your state has a Total Wine, then that's where you have to go to buy it. But if your state doesn't have one, then I think any store in theory should be able to carry it. In fact, I've seen some shops that aren't Total Wines that carry it for like $17. Like, that is a steal of a deal. Now, the next rum that I'm going to talk about might be the only rum at 40% ABV that I actually enjoy sipping neat. In fact, it probably is definitively 100% the only 40% ABV rum that I like to sip on neat, and that is Chairman's Reserve Original. Now, this is the old label. The new one looks a little something like this. So this is a pot calm still blend of rums from St. Lucia distillers that's been aged around 4 to 5 years. Around me, it goes for around $24 to $25. Lots of really nice velvety layers of salted caramel, like ribbons of salted caramel. There's also a little bit of toffee, but there's also some brine and some black tea, a little chai action, a little bit of vanilla and honey. Lots of nice, lovely flavors. And all that's happening, though, is mostly kind of in the first half or 3/4 of the experience on your palate. Yeah, at 40% ABV, it is lacking a strong finish, but what you're getting and when you're getting it, it just feels so flavorful and honestly, like quintessentially rummy, which I know can seem like a meaningless term. What does that mean? But I feel like rummy really fits here. And I know folks who like to describe rums from Barbados as having that rummy quality to them, but I think that St. Lucia and Chairman's Reserve might be the true home of rummy rums. If you disagree, come at me. Frankly, this might be the rum that I'd recommend to someone who's looking to buy their very first bottle of rum and someone who isn't like already like an enfranchised like bourbon or whiskey drinker. I just think it's a good sipper, mixes well, and it gives you the taste of what you think a rum flavor should taste like without being like sweet or cloying. Just all around quality stuff. Now, the next two rums that I want to talk about, they fit into a larger category that I want to first talk about before I talk about the two individual bottlings. And that category is unaged rums made from cane juice. Now, I'd argue that almost the entire category is an incredible best buy. First off, a lot of the good ones are these like artisanal rums that are direct expressions of the cane varietals used, the soil they were grown in, the farming techniques used, and the weather and climate that all of that takes place in. Now, often these are rums that are like farm to glass, terroir driven experiences. And here's the thing, everything that I've just said is how often people think about and treat agave spirits, right? And if you were to take a comparable tequila or mezcal, you'd easily be paying double or triple the price. So for a lot of unaged cane juice rums, whatever price you're paying, in my opinion, it's an absolute steal. That being said, here are two specific bottlings that I think are really good value. Now, first up from Haiti is St. Benevolence Clarin. For around $30, you get a 50% ABV wild fermented pot still blender rums made from cane juice and cane syrup using 4 different cane varietals. Those are all grown around the Dorsonville distillery in the town of Saint Michel de Alcalay. So this is a reflection of the cane and soil of Haiti, and you're getting all that for $30. Like, damn, dude. At a high level, you're getting a mix of brine, a little bit of smokiness, a little bit of vegetal quality, some plastic, and some minerals. But when you drill down, there's lots of green olives, some sweet peppers, a little crack of black pepper, and even this note of like tomato and cheese. Now, all that might seem pretty wild and out there, but really, ultimately, those notes really come together to make a very drinkable Clarin. And look, I love the Spirit of Haiti Clarins that are back there, like the Sajus and the La Roche. They are some of my favorite bottlings, but you're easily paying like over $50 for those. So for around $30, you're getting a similar quality product made much in the same way that plays in the same space. And then on top of that, St. Benevolence's profits, they go to fund charitable efforts in Haiti. And that's awesome. So the next rum is Nissan Rum Agricole Blanc from Martinique. Now for $40, you get a full liter of 50% ABV unaged cane juice rum. In my book, that is all really good math, but more importantly, this rum might just be sophistication in a glass, or perhaps the perfect example of a Martinique Rum Agricole Blanc. Let me get out of here. Whew. The first thing that really jumps out at you is just freshness. This feels very fresh, like fresh rainwater, fresh linens, so fresh and so clean. It basically tastes like fresh, sweet water, which in a way, I guess, is how you could describe sugarcane juice. And while yes, there is an element of grassiness here, to just describe this as grassy only, that's a gross oversimplification. To me, this really does taste like the essence of sugarcane in a glass, with a lovely round mouthfeel, a little hint of rose water, and even like a earthy honey note. It feels like agricultural and refined at the same time. Now, in my opinion, everything Nissan puts out should be considered a world-class spirit. And yeah, they have all sorts of like fancy releases, special releases, limited releases, single varietal releases. And those are all phenomenal, but I think what you're getting there is diminishing returns in terms of value compared to what you're getting here for just $40. Here, you get the core heart of what makes all of Nissan's rums so special. Again, just for $40, but you also still get that amazing iconic bottle as well. And lastly, we started this list with the Foursquare rum, and we're gonna end with one as well. Now it's $52, which is a lot of money, but I truly believe what you get in the bottle is easily worth so much more than that. It's Durley's 14 year. So this is a pot calm still blend of rums aged 14 years in a mix of ex-bourbon and ex-Madeira wine casks, and is bottled at 48% ABV. Ooh, buddy, this is full on salted molasses, like very, very salty molasses. But then it transitions into this really cool, rich, dark berry or like cherry syrup note. I love the push-pull between like salt and sweet. And there's even a little bit of like tangy tartness here as well to add further dimension. And you still get that kind of, what I think is that kind of classic Foursquare note of like coconut here as well. This rum has some bite to it, some texture, some chew, and it just has such great presence on the palate. And sure, $52 might be considered pricey for a Best Buy video, but let's compare it to other comparable rums. Like if we're talking other core releases around this age, two that come to mind are Eldorado 15 and Appleton 15. Now the Eldorado is usually around $55 to $60, and it's at a very lame 40% ABV, while the Appleton is bottled at 43% ABV, which is better, but it's usually priced between like $70 to $80. And look, ABV isn't the sole metric for value, so if we were to just forget about that for a second and we were just kind of comparing the rums, I really do think that this rum would run circles around those two. I'm not the first person to have said this, but this absolutely feels like it could belong in Foursquare's higher end and pricier Exceptional Cask Selection series. Those tend to be aged between 12, 14, or 16 years, and while they are usually around like 60% ABV, you're paying at least like $150 to $200. So for a third of the price, I think a drop in ABV is a fair trade-off. And frankly, this really does taste of the same caliber. And also, in my opinion, the ECS rums kind of taste better proof down anyways. So yeah, you're getting more than your money's worth with the Dual Ace 14. All right, so these were my best buys for rums to sip on. Now, am I right? Am I wrong? Do you have a rum that you think is the best bang for your buck when it comes to a rum sipper? Let me know by leaving a comment down below. And if you want to support this channel again, then check out my Patreon page where you can get access to the Rum Revival Discord channel. It's the place to be for all the hottest rum talk. Well, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Catch y'all next time. Cheers.